All right, we got one last match to talk about. It's the Monday match. What is going to happen in this one? Chelsea, are you ready to party, or you've got your coat on walking for the door? Chelsea, Tottenham. Edo, you start me off here because Tottenham needs to win, and Chelsea needs to save face. What's going to happen in this game?
Eden Hazard and Fabregas certainly agree with you after the things they said about really wanting to beat Chelsea and to beat Tottenham, and more importantly, let Leicester win the title. It's a really tough one to call. I think it will be a draw, a hard-fought one. There may be, say, Tottenham going down and coming back late, maybe not doing enough to beat Chelsea, because Chelsea have been sort of remarkably good, barring the Swansea game and barring the City game. They've actually been quite efficient as well. So, again, the Hiddink effect, he comes in, he does quite well with the squad. And yeah, it's all that Chelsea have left, really, as well. As a Chelsea fan, I have to say this, putting a spanner in their spokes, so to speak, is exactly what I want. And I do think that I'm just a bit disappointed Tottenham couldn't beat West Brom, because West Brom have resisted, have played hard against some of the bigger teams, but I was expecting a bit more from them, so I'll say 1-1.
Well, we do have on our panel here, it's made up of Chelsea and Tottenham fans, these guys. So we are going to move the sharp objects away for the next little bit of it. Tyrone, you're a Chelsea fan with Edo here. What's your team going to do? What's going to happen?
This is our cup final. This is it. This is it for Chelsea, and it's the one thing we've got to play for. It is beating Spurs, and it's denting them. It's you know, there's a lot of history between our two clubs, and the fans will demand nothing less. It will be a bit of a furnace. I think this will be the best atmosphere that you'd have seen at Stamford Bridge for quite a while. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a very, very good game. And in the absence of Jamie Hinks, our friend, get well soon, he would usually at this point bring up histrionics. And Spurs have not beaten us in the league since 1990 at Stamford Bridge. I'm not usually a believer in that, but there's something about this Spurs one that I do. I can't see Spurs winning. I see the title will be slipped away here. Spurs, yeah, the West Brom game. I wanted Spurs to win. I wanted it to carry on. I wanted Leicester to win the league. I still do, obviously, but through merit, rather than sort of dropping points at home against you know, a team of Pulis thugs, which they did. Dele Alli, is he going to play in this game? Is he going to get the?
No,
he will get the suspension.
Yeah, he has to get suspended for that.
He has to be. I mean, Dele Alli. You're Dele Alli, not Muhammad Ali, mate. It's, I don't know how you got pulled into the dark arts by Jakob, but he's only 20. He's had the season of his life. You know, he deservedly won Young Player of the Year the night before, and it's a shame we won't be seeing him again, quite possibly this season. It's a damn shame. He's a lovely lad. He's been a brilliant player. They'll miss him. They'll miss him definitely. There's obviously a lot to this Spurs team. They've had a great year, and they've been absolutely, you know, it's hard for me to say, but it's a pleasure to watch them. But yeah, I think it's all over here. I think it'll be 2-2, but it will be a hell of a game. Spurs have to win, and we're just going to do everything we can not to let them.
Andy, you're silent and focused, just like your team. You're doing better than Chelsea this year, or are you going to do better in this game?
We have done better than Chelsea this year. We've done better than many teams this year, which is why we're second in the league. I was at the game against West Brom. It was disappointing, but the atmosphere was fantastic. I just want to point out, I've never known a Spurs team to be as loved by the Spurs fans ever. And I go back to the 1981-82 team when I started watching them back then. 9 players had a song about them. The only 2 players that don't seem to have a song are Eric Lamela and Carl Walker. Don't know why. But, even when the chips were down, the fans were still singing the player's name. There's a lot of love at Spurs for this side. The only criticism I can bring of Spurs this year is that we've just not been able to close games out. They're a young team. They haven't learned the dark arts yet. They haven't learned to get a 1-goal lead and just play 2 flat banks of 4 and shut the game out. They can't do it. We dropped points at home against Stoke, Arsenal. We dropped points against Newcastle. That defeat against Newcastle was indicative of that. But we have, when we attack, we have been absolutely fantastic. Dele Alli won't play. He's got to get suspended for that. No one at Spurs is trying to defend him. We all saw it. He punched a guy. He's going to get suspended. It happens. You do something wrong, you take your punishment and you stop moaning about it. So if we had Dele Alli, I would fancy us against Chelsea, but a side without Dele Alli, it inevitably means that Eriksen gets pushed into the middle and Nacer Chadli plays, and we just don't quite look as good in that formation. So I agree with you two. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be an absolute cracker. It's going to be 2-2. I sense a last-minute equaliser as well. I don't know if it's us or you guys, but I sense it's just one of those games that's going to go to the 95th minute.
Eden.
And you're right. The atmosphere will be tremendous, and you will rightly mock Spurs because you will technically have been the ones that stopped Spurs from winning the league. However, we know and you know it happened weeks ago.
What a perfect way to surmise this game. That's right. It's going to be a great game, guys. It's Chelsea-Tottenham on Monday night. Make your picks. There's going to be lots of points available here, lots of daily fantasy points. And make sure you're looking at these teams to round out your teams if you're doing daily fantasy. Hey, it's DraftKings.co.uk. Welcome to the big time.